Hey everybody, it's Kneecap here, and welcome to This Week in WoW for the week of October 31st. Happy Halloween to anybody who celebrates Halloween or does anything for Halloween. We do so in my family because I have some kids, and that's actually probably their favorite holiday. Of course, this is also BlizzCon week, which is probably even bigger news than that, I imagine. But we will start off the video normally, and then we're just going to talk about BlizzCon stuff. I'll probably make some predictions and some hopes and stuff like that as well. Let's get started first with the Mythic Plus affixes for this week, which is a little bit pertinent. This week we have Fortified, Storming, and Bursting. So this is some really easy affixes to basically end this season off with. So very easy week. I imagine, you could still get your score up in game or whatever you need to do. Maybe you still need to get plus 20s or whatever you might need to do. Maybe you're gearing a character for next patch. Very easy affixes this week with Fortified, Storming, and Bursting. So no real worries there. Other than that, in game this week, we do have the Turbulent Time Waves coming to an end. We have the World Quest bonus event coming up, which is pretty big. Or wait, I think we might have one more week of Turbulent Time Waves, right? Yeah. We have one more week of Turbulent Time Waves, so you can still get the extra piece of loot. It doesn't end until the next patch, which makes sense. But then we also have the World Quest bonus event. This is really good for getting reputation and stuff like that. If that would have been up during the week of the patch, it would have been pretty cool with extra reputation there. Pet Battle bonus event, of course, very niche, and a PvP brawl as well. We also have the Day of the Dead event, and we also have Hallow's End ending, on Wednesday, the day after the patch, at least for NA. Halloween ending on Wednesday, Hallow's End event, that is. We also will be going into November, of course, through BlizzCon, and then at the very end of this week, into next week, into the patch week, we will have Dark Moon Fair starting up as well. So 10.2 Dark Moon Fair aligns up. Of course, there's reputation implications there as well, which is important to know. Now, of course, probably the biggest thing that we could ever have is every couple years we have probably an expansion reveal, and that's what I expect to see at BlizzCon. So there's going to be a lot of the stuff's going to come out Friday, I imagine, from what the schedule I looked at. Friday, I'm going to try to be on. I'm going to try to be able to watch the WoW World of Warcraft thing and maybe the opening ceremony as well. We'll see what we do there. But I imagine I'm going to have videos coming out of that, maybe even like a live stream, and then maybe like reaction videos as well, or like more in-depth videos about stuff. But I expect to see the expansion being announced at least, even if they don't have much of it. I expect it at the very least be announced, and that they probably will have at least some artwork or some minor in-game stuff to show off with it. And so it's going to be a pretty hype thing overall. Of course, some people might hate the expansion idea, or some people might really love it, whatever. But I'm definitely expecting to see that. I expect there to be as well. I expect there to be classic news as well. That's a different segment of BlizzCon, but I expect there to be classic news as well. There will be, most likely I think Cata Classic will probably be announced. That's extremely likely, but they might be it's very possible that they hint or straight up say that they're planning on something bigger for Classic in the future, or that they are planning for something. People call it Classic Plus or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if they say that, hey, we're planning that. That's going to be a big undertaking, and we're planning that for the future. But first, we're going to do Cata Classic. That's kind of what I expect for that. Another big thing I'm looking out for is if there's going to be a patch 10.3 or not. All the signs point to no, and we'll know by the probably by the announcement of when they expect the expansion to come out for retail. By if there will be a 10.3 or not. But it very well could just be under the hood. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to release anything on it until they can announce it at BlizzCon. Maybe they announce the final big boss of the expansion, which you'd imagine would have been like a Ridicron or something. But I guess it could be something to do with Nozdormu or something like that as well. So I'm looking out for that. Again, I don't expect there to be a 10.3 at this point, but I'm definitely not closing the door on it, and I'll be looking out for that as well. And yeah, I'm super excited about it. I think the most likely thing for an expansion would probably be, I with all the stuff that they revamped, it's hard for me to not believe that there isn't something going on with some of the zones being revamped, but not completely like reforged like in Cataclysm, because now we have like the Chromie tech or whatever, the Sidormi tech, where you can like view the zones as different times or whatever. We use this in BFA with Arethi Highlands and with Darkshore, for examples. That was like a kind of almost a test of redoing two zones, not completely redoing them, but like updating them, I guess, and then still having the old zones be accessible and stuff like that. And so I just think with all the new assets that they've found and everything like that, I think there's going to be a really, whatever we do, even if we go to a new landmass, whether that's that Avaloran theory or whatever, no matter what happens, I think there's definitely going to be some old world aspect to it, something that keeps us grounded in Eastern Kingdoms or Kalmador or both. And I do think that's what I'm going to be projecting, is that whatever the case may be, a big part of it will be us kind of having a bit of a revamp of the old world, whether that's only cosmetically or whether that's through quest lines and leveling experience and things like that. But I'm pretty excited to see what that could be. But if you followed along at all with the people who do like the data mining and stuff like that, there's so many like assets upgraded with Ogrimmar and Stormwind and just like random shit, like the gunships and the stuff like that. The gunships, just all kinds of things, really, just random things that are updated in the game files already. Not active, of course, but updated, and it's hard for me not to believe that would be the case. So I would be super excited for that personally, and I hope they take some chances, they take some swings as well on that, and maybe try to, if they pull it off, it'll be very hype, and if they don't, it won't. But I would kind of like to see them take some chances on it personally. Other than that, of course, like I said, this is gonna we're gonna know a lot of stuff. We also have the patch coming this very next week. So just all kinds of stuff is going to be coming out with the patch as well. So probably this weekend into Monday, and then after Tuesday with the patch, I will eventually have a ret stuff up. It's not going to be that much different, unfortunately, unless something happens as far as like ret guide goes, because not a lot has changed, because ret has not been tuned since April 5th, I believe it was. But it's been a long time, so not a ton coming on that front. But I don't want to talk about negative right now. I'm extremely excited and extremely positive right now. If whatever happens at Blizzcon is not great, then I will calm my excitement, of course. But right now I'm very excited and very positive, very optimistic for the future. And I can't wait to see what they say, because one thing I've said in these videos before, in other This Week in WoW videos, is that some of the devs that are on Twitter and stuff like that are extremely excited for whatever it is they're announcing, and more so than what I've seen before. So whatever it is going to be big. I didn't even mention like Chris Metzon's going to be back. I imagine he's going to be on stage. All kinds of cool stuff. And, in a few more days, what is it? 1, 2, 3, about 4 more days, we'll know a lot. And I will be talking a lot and putting out a lot of videos probably. So that's it for this one, though. Hopefully this week goes good for everyone else. Hopefully everyone can find something that they enjoy about the announcements. And yeah, as always, I do ask you to please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a lot. And other than that, everybody have a good one.